All right, mystical beings. So it is time for the daily message. Now, this message was so important that I didn't even get a chance to shuffle. I was switching the energy, and the card already started to download. With the message. And I want to make this clear from the beginning that this is not just for women. This reading is also for it's for everyone that is in a space where they're trying to be more nurturing and take on a caregiver role and trying to be this palatable person that's just, giving and nurturing and never really taking, coming in and saving the day time and time and time again, without question, without being asked, seeing people struggle and just taking over. Okay, this is giving Empress in reverse energy, and that's why we have the Empress and the Emperor today. To remind you, one, the Empress and the Emperor are divine counterparts. But just because the Empress is shown as holding feminine nurturing energy does not mean that she's weaker and does not mean that she lacks boundaries. It does not mean that she is a people pleaser. It does not mean that she is a pushover at all whatsoever. If you think back into the times where we had an emperor and an empress, and that was like normal for the world, right? The Empress would not be easily accessible. She would not be easily accessible to just anyone. All right. And she would hold an authoritarian role. People would look to her for, yes, nurturing, but guidance as well. So, with all of this being said, you need to have boundaries. You being a yes man does not make you a nurturer. It makes you a pushover. A real empress is one that is in her feminine power. Yes, when we're looking at the empress, she is the mother. She is the creator, right? She literally has the ability to transform energy within her to create things. This is not an energy that is supposed to be siphoned from you. This is an energy that you work with, that you create with, and you only let out what it is that you want to let out or what you feel needs to be let out. The Empress holds energy of transformation, the energy of creation. That's why she's the number 3. Yep, this is the Empress. That's why she's the number 3. Because 2 things had to come together for something to be created. It's creative energy. Creative energy isn't supposed to be a fucking well that everyone can just tap, so you don't have any. And honestly, if we're talking about it, aspects of feminine energy can truly be terrifying, especially when we're talking about feminine rage. The Empress is embodying all of feminine energy and moving from that. How does that seem like being a pushover? Don't denote Empress energy to just caring for others. It's creation. It's creative energy, right? So, with all of this being said, regenerate yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't fill your cup just to pour it out for others. You need to be recharged, nourished, and nurtured yourself before you can ever try to help anyone else. Because if not, you will never be an Empress energy. She's commanding. She's powerful. She oftentimes doesn't even have to speak for you to know what the energy is. Tap into that energy. Don't focus on always trying to come in and save the day, even when people aren't even asking you to. All right? That is the message. Setting the intention that it finds everyone that it needs to. All right? I love you guys.